Have you ever wondered if the City Heroes private servers could do a progression server? Sort of like EverQuest's progression server or World of Warcraft's progression server, where it starts off in the classic vanilla version, and then as the players progress and hit milestones, it adds in the next update or set of features that were put in the game and continues going that direction until it hits to the current stage that the game is in. I'm Controlled Chaos, and I want to talk to you guys about this idea and how plausible it is. So let's go ahead and get into it. First off, you need to look at all of the changes that have been made in the game. And then we have to look at, secondly, what is remaining in the codebase and in the database to be able to bring back some of those old features. Now, I did get some help from Silver Aged Fan. They gave me a lot of insight on the build of the i24 that everyone uses, majority. So with that being said, with that information, when I was talking to them, they let me know that code-wise, a lot of stuff has been either commented out, which means that they put brackets around it and make it so that the code just doesn't get read by the game engine. Other parts have been deleted completely and would need to be recoded from scratch, and other parts have been moved around in the code base. And so that would make things difficult right there in of itself. Now, the other thing we need to look at is doing things such as bringing back Galaxy City the way it was on launch. In order to do that, with talking to Silver Aged fans, they informed me that the framework for the original Galaxy Cities is there, but it's missing some of the quests that were originally there and NPCs and things like that. So that would need to be rebuilt up. The overall framework is still there, but it's missing parts. So with all that being said, it would be a daunting task for any of these private servers to try to do a progression server, because not only do they need to fix the code base back to the original way it was or close to it, and then fix Galaxy City back to the way it was originally, but then they need to come up with a system that they would use to do the progression, whether it's a time unlock or if it's a certain amount of players progress so far in the game type of unlock system. And that's what's really important. That last factor would take some time and some unique code in itself, but it's the fact of having to recode everything and do all that that makes it really hard. On top of that, the three main servers I've been playing on, Homecoming, Thunderspy, and Rebirth, are all doing things differently. So some of them would need to start off scratch and rebuild from there. Others could go from what they've done and tweak it from there. And it would be easy for some, harder for others, but there's also other things to take into effect. And that is what they are currently working on and focused on. Homecoming, I really don't know what they're focused on and what their plans are. I've tried reaching out to them. They're not that interactive with me. Thunderspy, they have stated to me through Senpai what they're working on. And what they're working on is they're working on back-end tools to make getting updates out quicker. That's their main focus right now. They're working on tools to making importing models, to doing coding, to doing new quests and new zones and things like that. They're working on all those tools in the background so that they can do back-to-back updates really quickly. And that's a smart move. If they get that done right and well, they can be smacking out a bunch of content really quickly for us players. Rebirth, on the other hand, their main focus right now is just doing those updates and working with what they have now. And they've done a really good job. Look at issue 3, where they had over 800 costume pieces. Look at what's happening with issue 4 in balancing the Kandarians and fixing the problems with that and adding more into the game in costume pieces and other future things I'm going to be talking about. So with that, if these servers were to work on doing a progression server, they'd have to put a hold on what they're working on right now and what their future plans are to do this, and it would take them years or more to do a progression server. I personally love to see one. I'd love to see the heyday of when City Heroes launched in 2004. That would be really cool. And then as we play along, all of a sudden, capes get unlocked for us, because capes didn't come out with the game. Capes came out 6 months or so later in the game because they wanted to get them right. They didn't want to have buggy capes in the game. A year after the launch of City Heroes, City of Villains came out, and then we have the Going Rogue, and then after that, the Freeforms model, and then adding in some new archetypes and some new costume pieces and stuff like that. And seeing that kind of progression would be interesting and would be cool in my eyes. I'd really like to see that. But in all honesty, I'd rather them work on what they're doing now to move the game forward, to give us more newer content and interesting content to play with, to have fun with. Because a lot of us in City Heroes, I'm definitely one of them, I make a lot of different alts because I come up with different character ideas. And with servers like Rebirth and Thunderspy throwing in new costume pieces and new power sets, and Homecoming does new power or archetypes, but new power sets and things like that, it gives us reasons to make those new characters. There's already enough random generation in the game, the non-main storyline quests, that we can have fun and it still feels fresh to us. So what they're doing now is great for us, but I think in the future, seeing maybe a group come along and say, you know what, we're going to do nothing but run progression servers and just unlock things as they go, and once you get to the max end, maybe reset the server or something like that. Yeah, the reset of the server might aggravate some people and might not have as much of a player base, but there's people who like to just go through and get that feel of playing through as City Heroes evolved type of thing. It would garnish those players every so often. So it might not be a big major popular server like Homecoming is, and Thunderspy is growing and Rebirth is growing, which is really good, but it would be something unique and different. I want to know from you guys, what would you think of a progression server for City of Heroes? Is that something you guys would want to see? And if so, how would you want the progression server to move along? Would you want it to be on a time unlock? Or would you want it to be on a merit system unlock where people unlock it by getting so much done in the game that unlocks the next stage of updates? Comment down below, let me know what you think on that idea and what you'd like to see. I want to thank you for watching this video and have a great day.